Hey everyone, Eric here. In this video, we're checking out the Nectar tone sweetener from Beetronics. The Nectar is an overdrive pedal as well as a fuzz pedal, so we have two different drive modes. It's in an incredibly small enclosure. We have a very simple set of controls, but it sounds great. They call it a tone sweetener, and it can do anything from like low gain, enhancing your sound, to wall of fuzz type sounds. Before we get into the pedal, let's go ahead and go over the signal chain really quick. We're running my Neptune with humbuckers into the Nectar, and then from the Nectar we're going into the Boss Katana. It's set kind of on the edge of breakup. Again, before we go over the features of the pedal, Otis decided to bring his toy over to me, so I hope that's not too distracting. So if we go ahead and look at the Nectar, we have, of course, an ornate looking enclosure with some amazing art on it, just as all Beetronics pedals have. We have three different LEDs. Right down here is the on-off LED, and then the two LEDs up top here denote which mode you're in. So on the right, we have a blue LED. That means we're in the fuzz mode. If we use this toggle switch, on the left, we have a white LED, and that means you're in the overdrive mode. I'm gonna go ahead and set it back to fuzz, and then that brings us to the toggle. So the toggle up top is a fuzz and drive toggle. So if you're to the right, you're in fuzz mode. If it's to the left, you're in drive mode. Now, if we go ahead and look at the knobs on the pedal, we have volume up here on the top left. That is our overall output volume. Of course, if we turn it down, we're not gonna get anything. And as we start to turn it up, we're gonna get a louder and louder sound. Moving on, we have the honey control in the middle. That's gonna be our amount of gain or amount of fuzz, distortion, breakup, whatever you wanna call it. If we turn it up, we're gonna get a fuzzier or dirtier sound. And if we turn it down, we're gonna get a cleaner sound. So let's go ahead and set it all the way to minimum. We're in the fuzz mode, so even with the honey control on minimum, we're getting a pretty fuzzy sound. And as we start to turn that control up, we're gonna get a dirtier sound or a fuzzier sound. The fuzz inside the Nectar is not really like other Beetronics fuzzes, because generally if Beetronics is doing fuzz, they want to make it, you know, as gnarly as possible, or at least that's what I think they want to do, which they succeed at. So, you know, it means lots of high-end harmonics, lots of low-end harmonics, and just a super saturated sound. But with the fuzz in the Nectar, I'm actually finding it more to be kind of like a distortion pedal almost, rather than a fuzz. It's a really nice thick sound, and I'm I'm really digging it. So moving on, we have the taste control, and that's gonna be our tone control. So if we turn it all the way down, we're gonna get the darkest sound possible. As we start to turn the taste control up, we're going to start introducing more high end. So now let's go ahead and flip over to the overdrive mode with the toggle on the top of the pedal. Our light turns to white, of course, and we're in the drive mode. And now we get a much lower gain and a more articulate sound. So here is everything at 50%. And now let's go ahead and focus in on the honey control, because if we turn it down, we're gonna get a really clean sound. It's pretty clean, and that means that it kind of lends itself to be used as a boost in this mode. So if we turn the volume all the way up, so that's the pedal overdriving the front end of the Katana, because if we turn the pedal off, we're gonna get a quiet, clean sound. So it can be used as a boost, it can be used as like a tone shaper, and what I mean by that is just kind of slight bit of compression and adding a different sound texture to your instrument. So let's go ahead and go up on the honey control to see what kind of gain levels we have throughout the honey control. Now let's go ahead and hear how the taste control sounds. I'm gonna set the drive back to about like 60%, and we're gonna start with the taste on minimum, so that means we have a very dark sound. So now I've got my Woodwright Warlord plugged in. It's tuned to C standard, and let's go ahead and hear how the Nectar sounds on a low tuned guitar. So we can hear that the Nectar actually kind of shaves off a little bit of low end, which is really cool. It makes a lower tuned guitar more aggressive. Now let's go ahead and flip over to the fuzz mode and crank the fuzz up and hear how that sounds. Also, I'm gonna play on the neck pickup. That sounds pretty gnarly. Let's go ahead and hear how bright it can get. So right now I turn the fuzz down to about 50%, and the taste control, the tone control is all the way up. So we get the most brightness, the most high end now. And we're gonna hear how it sounds on the neck pickup. So now I've got my Pure Salem J-Do bass. It is a short scale bass with flat wounds. It's a very dark sounding bass. This is through the same signal chain. Here's the clean sound. Now let's go ahead and hear how the Nectar sounds on the fuzz mode. Taste is all the way up, fuzz is on 50%, and the volume's at 50%. Let's hear how that sounds. So right now I've only got one pickup on, the bridge pickup. I'm gonna go with both of them and hear how that sounds. Let's go ahead and crank up the fuzz. That sounds pretty cool. Let's go ahead and flip it over to the overdrive mode. So we're in the overdrive mode. All the settings are at 50%. Here's what it sounds like. I'm gonna go ahead and bump the volume up to like 75%. That sounds cool and like a little bit more aggressive. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the taste control up all the way to maximum. I hope you enjoyed this look at the Nectar from Beetronics. If you did like this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. Otis would really appreciate it. Also, Otis is going to leave a link to the Beetronics website in the description of this video. And if you want to help Otis out with making more of these videos, we have affiliate links in the description, which take you over to Sweetwater, Reverb, or Amazon. And what they do is they let those sites know that we sent you. It saves you time, it doesn't cost you anything extra, and if you buy anything through those links, it helps support the channel, and it's greatly appreciated. I want to send a huge thank you to my Patreon fam, my supporters over on Patreon. I really appreciate all of you. Thank you so very much. Thank you for watching. I hope you're doing well out there. I hope you're staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're taking care of yourself. I'll see you in the next one.